सुप्रसाद प्रसन्नात्मा विश्वधृग्विश्वभुग्विभुः सत्कर्ता सत्कृतः साधुः जह्नुर्नारायणो नरः सुप्रसाद प्रसन्नात्मा सुप्रसाद प्रसन्नात्मा सुप्रसाद प्रसन्नात्मा विश्वधृग्विश्वभुग्विभुः 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 सत्कर्ता सत्कृतः साधुः सत्कर्ता सत्कृतः साधुः सत्कर्ता सत्कृतः साधुः जह्नुर्नारायणो नरः जह्नुर्नारायणो नरः जह्नुर्नारायणो नरः सुप्रसादः प्रसन्नात्मा विश्वधृग्विश्वभुग्विभुः सत्कर्ता सत्कृतः साधुः जह्नुर्नारायणो नरः. In this shloka number 26, we have 11 names from 236 to 246. The 236th nama is Suprasadah. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Suprasadhaya Namaha. Su as an upasarga, a prefix, denotes Shobhanam, as in good, welfare-oriented, prosperous, etc. Prasad is graciousness received from God or a superior being. The value that we attribute on God for this nama is one who shows welfare-oriented graciousness, giving the best to us. An alternate Anubhavam is one who shows mercy on all. Be it Arjuna, Prahalad, Ravana, Duryodhan, anyone you take, Bhagavan expressed graciousness in his giving. Shankaracharya expresses this in his Anubhavam as Shobhanah prasado yasya apakaravatam api Shishupaladinam moksha pradatritvat. One who expressed kindness even to the evildoers. Apakar means doing harm. So apakaravatam is evildoers, such as Shishupal, by awarding moksha. To contemplate in meditation, we take the value that anything we get is a suprasad from God. It is neither a boon nor a curse. It is purely a prasad. The confidence of God in my ability to nurture that which has been given to me is the expression that comes out of devotion from us. When I say something being given to me, it could be physical or material objects, emotional or intellectual experiences, the knowledge, everything is included in that. All are contributory forces for me to discharge my duty of nurturing and contributing to the progress of my kshetra. The 237th nama is Prasannatma. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Prasannatmane Namaha. Atma as a word is used both as soul or as self. The term prasanna has several meanings. In dictionary, we can see glad, lucid, as in having a clarity of expressions, bright, pure, happy, cheerful, etc. Shankaracharya gives several assertions for being cheerful or prasannatma. Rajas tamobhyam akhalushita atmanatha karanam asya, emphasizing that it is the influence of rajas and tamas that deteriorates one from being prasanna. And because God is free of this influence, the word Acharya uses is akalushita, Kalusha means impurity or filth or dirt. Akalushita means one who does not have the impurities associated with Rajas and Tamas in this context. Further, Acharya goes to say, Karunardhra Swabhavaha, one who expresses kindness towards all. Then he says, Avapta Sarva Kamadvad, means all his desires have been fulfilled. The emphasis is one who has no further desires. However, we in our tradition add the value one who is bright and cheerful at all times. We lose our cheerfulness due to Rajogun and Tamogun influencing our minds. Every body experiences all the three guns at its foundation because they are made of Prakriti, which is something that is made of the three gun. They say Trigunatmikam Prakritihi or Maya. By becoming one who has crossed over the influences of gunas, with the knowledge that it is natural for gunas to interact with one another, you become a gunatitaha, one who has crossed over the influences of gunas. This brings the true nature of the soul, which is ever prasannaha, being cheerful and bright at all times. The 238th Nama is Vishwadrik. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Vishwadhrite Namaha. A similar Nama will be seen in Shloka number 80 as Triloka Dhrik. The Nama is expressed as Vishwasrig by some traditions. The term Srij becomes Srig when joining. The emphasis is Srijati, one who crafted or created all the worlds of experience, the multiverse. One interesting discussion we had was, is it not self-contradictory to say God is the creator of the lokas? The debate was based on the emphasis that both Purushaha and Prakriti are Anadhi. Bhagavad Gita chapter 13 shloka 20. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidhi Anadhi Ubhavapi is the way it goes. If something is created, it has to have a beginning. So either world is created by God is true, or the manifestation has no beginning is true. Both cannot be. The conclusion was, because Prakriti has a dependent existence on Purushaha, it is unstable. The stability of the Prakriti is achieved through the process of creation, sustenance and destruction. This process, these core functions require Chaitanya, an intelligent principle. So it is a borrowed form of existence for Prakriti. Hence, the qualification of Ishwar being the creator is attributed. Most of the traditions, though, read this Nama as Vishwadrik, where Drik is taken from the root Dharana, to support, one who supports the existence and the functioning of Prakriti. The manifested and objectified forms of existence, be it physical, subtle or causal. The Stula Sukshma Karana Prapancha is the way that we say. In our spiritual pursuit, the use of Drik is more appropriate as it gives us the ability to inquire whether I am being the base for my mind or whether the mind is driving me. Shankaracharya shares his anubhavam as Vishwam Drishnoti Vishwadrik. Nidrisha Pragalbhe are the two expressions that Acharya uses. Nidrisha highlights the inner strength that arises from wisdom. Pragalbhatha emphasizes the outward expression of confidence and skill in communication or action. This is also used to emphasize an arrogation, as in taking something with authority. These are important attributions. The I should not be reasoning out to Buddhi on who the master is. Arrogation becomes an important virtue here. The term Nirdrisha supports this arrogation. I will leave it as concepts here for you to contemplate, but I am open to discuss this topic in separate conversations. The 239th Nama is Vishwabhuk. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Vishwabhoktre Namaha. As a Nama, this is revealed only in this shloka. The Nama can be seen as an extension to the Nama Bhokta that comes in shlokas 16, 53 and 95. Shankaracharya introduces a beautiful concept here. Bhunakti and Palayati are the two words he uses to describe Bhokta for this Nama Vishwabhuk. Bhunakti means to use, pass through, consume, etc. Palayati means to maintain, cause to preserve, protect, etc. Consumption is an important element for the preservation and the protection of the world. It is when consumption becomes a means to fulfill desires, the adharma arises. To consume and to be consumed is thus an integral part to the sustenance of the world. Hence, Bhagavan has the Nama Vishwabhuk. An alternate expression given in some schools is that Bhagavan consumes the world at the time of Pralaya, the dissolution of the world. Hence, his Nama is Vishwabhuk. The 240th Nama is Vibhuhu. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Vibhave Namaha. This Nama occurs twice in Vishnu Sahasranama. In this shloka number 26, and we will be seeing it again in shloka number 94. As per dictionary, the word Vibhuhu means ruler, lord, powerful, pervading, unlimited, etc. Shankaracharya expresses his anubhavam for this Nama as Hiranyagarbhadi Rupena Vividham Bhavati, as in one who expresses himself in the form of Hiranyagarbha and others in several ways. And he quotes Mundaka Upanishad 116 in support of this. It is the first Mundakam, first Kandam and sixth mantra, which goes like this: Yattad adreshyam agrahyam agotram avarnam achakshushfrotram tatpani padam nityam vibhum sarvagatam susukshmam tadavyayam yad bhuta yonim paripashyanti dhiraha. Vibhum is expressed in this mantra as that which expresses itself in every form of expression. In tradition, we also quote from Kathopanishad, the first Adhyaya, second Valli, 22nd mantra. It says, Ashariram sharireshu anavastheshva vastitam mahantam vibhum Atmanam matva dhira na shochati. Here the context is one who fills everything and everywhere. Developing our ability to see God in everything is the primary value this Nama brings us. And there are some traditions that combine the Nama 239 and 240, making it as Vishwabhug Vibhuhu. By that name, the Pushparchana mantra is Om Vishwabhugvibhave Namaha. Context is by being a Vibhu, as in by manifesting himself into several forms, the universal soul, the Atma, the Paramatma, experiences the world. This usage emphasizes the value of manifestation as the only means of experiencing. The meaning does not change except that it adds a relationship. And because it is a nama, our tradition avoids conditional expressions and declare them as two namas. As in, through this does this is less of a noun. It doesn't mean the usage is wrong. It is just that our tradition tries to keep nouns to nama. Hence we see two namas. Alternately, we simply state that the establishment of the 1000 namas was based on Shankara Bhashya, hence we see it as two namas. The 241st nama is Satkarta. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Satkartre Namaha. This again is a compound word made of Sat and Karta. Both Sat and Karta will be seen as Nama individually as well. There are several Nama with the affix Sat. For this Nama, Shankaracharya gives his Anubhavam as Sat Karoti Pujayi, one who worships those in the path of Dharma. Bhagwan is shown paying huge respects to those in the path of Dharma in Itihas and Purans. Valmiki Ramayana says Bahushrutanam Vruddhanam Brahmananam Upasitaha. Bahushrutanam, those who are very, very learned. Vruddhanam, those who are old. Brahmananam, those who practice the Brahmanatvam, the Sattvika way of life. All these people Ram worships. In spirituality, the value that we discuss is how to elevate ourselves to the point where even God will worship us. This is done by following the path of Sanmarga. This is also a key reminder that when we see such honorable people, we should develop the attitude of paying respects to them. The 242nd Nama is Satkritah. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Satkritaya Namaha. A similar nama will be seen as Satkritihi in shloka number 75. Sat means truth, goodness, virtuousness or essence. It represents something that is real, eternal or aligned with dharma. Kritaha means done, made or treated. Thus, Satkritaha means well treated, honored or respected. Pujitaha. We take the meaning Pujitaha, one who is worshipped. Bhagwan is the object of worship for everyone. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan establishes that no matter whom you worship, eventually it is the same Parabrahma, it is the same Paramatma who is worshipped. For the meditation purposes, the value that needs to be contemplated is that even for God, it is good behavior together with offering respect to those with good behavior is the means to attain the position of being respected. Developing humility in us is the action which leads us to the position of being respected in the society. The 243rd Nama is Sadhuhu. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Sadhave Namaha. Sadhayati iti sadhuhu. One who carries out or one who accomplishes is sadhu. Sadhanoti iti sadhuhu. One who makes it possible to carry out, one who makes it possible to accomplish is sadhuhu. Shankaracharya gives a 4 beautiful associated meanings or values for this nama. The first is Nyaya Pravrittataya, because the actions can be reasoned out, as in through logical and procedural approach, the accomplishments sadhayati iti sadhuhu. He accomplishes, and hence he is called sadhuhu. The second one that he emphasizes is sadhya bhedam, having a clarity on the distinctions among objectives. The third one that Acharya quotes is upadanat, because of being the cause or contributor. The fourth is sadhya matra sadhako. Literal meaning is one who achieves only the goals. The implied meaning is one who does not deviate from the objectives once they are set. If you take Nyaya Pravritti, every Itihas and Puran establishes clear reasons for his actions. Sadhya Vedhan, here the establishment of objective takes a course that's suitable for that. Example we take is Narasimha Avatar. Because of the circumstances, he had to take that form to do that specific action. For Upadanat, best is Mahabharata, where he contributes as a guide, as a Sarathi. Then Sadhya Matra. This is the focus on goal. For this we quote Gajendra Moksha. Accommodating to the situation and doing that which is right to achieve the goal is sadhu. Alternately, the name sadhu has also been interpreted as one who is righteous. That is, one who conducts himself in accordance with the principles of dharma, and that he follows the right path at all times. For meditation purposes, we need to understand that we should be sadhus. Unfortunately, there is a media spread image of sadhu to be the one who has renounced everything, or one who accepts everything, or one who does not fight back, etc. When I carry out a task, it is not my position that matters. It is not my preference that matters. It is not my ambition that matters. Being fully involved into the task and performing with precision is what a sadhu is, which is what we should aspire to become. The 244th nama is Jannuhu. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Jannave Namaha. Jannuhu means to conceal or to hide. Shankaracharya expresses his anubhavam on this nama as Janan Samhara Samaye Apahnute Apanayati iti Jannuhu. Jahatya Avidhushaha Bhaktan Nayati Parampadam itiva. Apahnute means removes, protects or conceals, and apanayati means to take away, to eliminate. During the time of pralaya, the dissolution, he protects or eliminates, hence he is called Jannuhu. Acharya further explains this as avidhushaha. The unrealized ones are jahata, abandoned, and the devoted are led to the supreme bliss, Nyati Paramapadam. An alternate way the value is attributed on this nama to God is based on the concept of concealment. Every creation starts at the potential or Karana Avastha. Creations happen as a result of manifestations of objects done by removing or adding elements to something that exists. Jannuhu is seeing Bhagavan as the concealer, as in the holder of everything in its potential form. There is a third way that a value is attributed to Bhagavan here. This is associating the Nama of river Ganges. River Ganges is also called Janhavi. This is based on the Puranic story in which, as King Bhagiratha brings Ganges from heaven to earth, the river created havoc in the ashram of sage Jannu. Sage Jannu drank the entire water of Ganges, and later, upon the prayer from Bhagiratha, Jannu releases the river through his ears. And because the river emerged from the sage Jannu, the river is also called Janhavi, which means the daughter of Jannu. The 245th Nama is Narayanah. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Narayanaya Namaha. Shankaracharya attributes Nara as Atma and Nara as that which is born out of Atma. Acharya expresses this in his Anubhavam as Naro Atma Tato Jatani Akashadini Narani Karyani Tani Ayam Karanatmana Vyapnoti Atascha Tani Ayanam Asya Iti Narayanah. The Paramatma Nara is the Self, the Atma. From him the five elements such as space, Akashadini, and the manifested beings, Naras, emanated. These are effects, the Karyam, and Bhagavan as their cause, Karana Atma, pervades them, and therefore he is the refuge for them as their Ayanam, their ultimate abode. It is similar to how a gold necklace, when loses its form, becomes gold. And because he is the base as well as the ultimate abode for all Naras, he is called Narayanah. For this, Acharya gives several quotes. The first is from Narayana Upanishad. Yaccha kinchid jagat sarvam drishyate shruyate va antarbahishcha tat sarvam vyapya narayana sthitah. The second is from Mahabharata. Narajatani tatvani narayaniti tato viduhu tanyeva chayanam tasya tena narayana smrutah. And the third is from Manusmriti. Apo nara iti prokta apo vainara sunavah tayadasyayanam purvam tena narayana smrutah. In terms of meditation, in tradition, the Nama Narayanah is seen similar to Ramah. As in, the word Narayanah is in itself considered a mantra. We meditate on the Nama itself, and that too in a loud japa form. This is based on the text that comes in Sri Narasimha Puran. This is one among the 18 Upapurans. Herein a shloka says, Narayana Nama Ityameva Satyah. Generally, when a mantra is given as a mantropadesh, it is said that the mantra should not be uttered aloud. Some traditions even say that while chanting a mantra that has been given as an upadesh, one should not even move the lips. It must be chanted in your heart with reverence. However, the word, rather the concept Narayana, is considered an exception to this rule. In tradition, we say that Om Namo Narayanaya, even if given as a mantra, should be chanted aloud as an upasana. Om Namo Narayanaya is considered beyond all bounds and restrictions, and chanting the mantra loud is the true form of meditating on this nama. The 246th nama is Naraha. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Naraya Namaha. As per dictionary, we get the meanings of Nara as man, person, male, husband, hero, pin of a sundial, etc. Shankaracharya expresses his anubhavam as Nayatiti Naraha Proktaha Paramatma Sanatanaha. These are the words of sage Vedavyasa, and Acharya takes it as is, stating Iti Vyasa Vachanam. This establishes that Naraha is not an individual, rather a guiding principle or the concept that leads one towards higher knowledge or moksha. In other words, that form which provides a means to attain Sanatana Paramatma is Naraha. Alternately, the term Nara is also used in the context of water, in the context of being the base of everything. This associates the Nama to Narayanaha as the eternal guide to creation. In tradition, we use the common word Nara to represent a person. We attribute the value of leadership in every person. The true quality of a person is to lead. The leadership quality is not to follow. It is the maturity of accepting the situation. But when it comes to action, one should be a leader. As in, one should attain the perfection or completeness of action, which naturally brings you followers. The example I often quote is from a movie called Forrest Gump. He starts to run and running becomes him, and naturally he finds followers. Getting the followers is not leadership. Attaining the completeness of action and perfection in that action is what sets one apart as a true leader. And this concept of perfecting oneself and dissolving into an action is the reflection of a truly liberated soul. Attaining the perfection is thus a value that we contemplate on this nama Naraha.